Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today we shall be looking at the topic sequence and series. In this particular episode, we'll be focusing on the nth term of an AP. As you can see on the board, the formula there is the formula for the nth term of an AP. AP is an arithmetic progression. That is one of the various types of sequence in which GP is one of them. All right, so the general formula is defined as the first term plus bracket n minus 1 times the common difference. A represents the first term, n represents the number of terms, then d represents a constant known as the common difference. We're making use of this formula in finding the particular term of an arithmetic progression. For you to say that a sequence is in AP, how do we get to identify that? For example, you have 5, 8, 11, 14. This is a typical example of an AP. Why do we say so? Each of the numbers in a sequence is known as a term. Each number in a sequence is known as a term. Then the first number is known as the first term. This is the second term, the third term, the fourth term, and so on. So the first term of this particular example here is 5. Then how do we determine the common difference of any AP? That is arithmetic progression. That is by saying the succeeding term in this case, that is 8, minus the preceding term, which is 5, or 11 minus 8, or 14 minus 13. All will give the same number, and that is why we call it a constant, because the number remains the same. When you say 8 minus 5, the answer is 3. 11 minus 8 still 3. 14 minus 11 still gives us what? 3. In this instance, we can say that the common difference is 3. And with this common difference, we can determine the subsequent terms. Say, for example, I want to get the fifth term. I'll be adding the common difference to get the subsequent terms. That is to say, 14 plus common difference 3, that will give us 17. Then we'll continue in that order. 17 plus common difference 3 will give us 20. 20 plus common difference 3 will give us 23. And this is how it continues ad infinitum. All right, so we can determine the next term using this formula. For instance, as we already have the first term as A, we know the common difference as 3. And we know that this is first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term. Assuming we want to determine the fifth term using this formula, all we need to do is to say T sub n is equal to A, which is now we substitute the value of A as we already have it here. The value of A in this instance is 5 plus, because we are looking for the sixth term, we have to identify this one as 6. That is to say, any place we see n, we put what? 6 there. So in place of this n now, that will now be 6 minus 1 times the common difference, which is what? 3. All right, so by so doing, we have it as 5 plus 6 minus 1 will give us 5. 5 multiplied by 3 will give us 15. And when we say 5 plus 15, that will give us 20. And that represents the sixth term of the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is to say, this is the formula we use in finding a particular term of an AP. That is the formula. We have other methods of doing this, which I'll be showing you right away. Let me show you another approach you can take before we now delve into the major questions that we have for today. Recall that the first term of an AP is A. How do we determine the second term? We determine the second term by adding the common difference, just like I was adding the common difference to that particular sequence to get the subsequent terms. So to get the next term, that will be first term plus common difference. To get another one, as I have A plus D as my second term, to get another one, I have to add another common difference again. So that will give me A plus 2D. Then that will continue in this order, A plus 3D, and so on. So as you can see, this is the first term, the first, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. The reason why I'm showing you this particular order is for us not to go about cramming the formula. You can as well use this particular one to get the nth term of an AP going forward. So when you observe critically, closely on this particular order here, you find out that when we are talking about the third term, for example, the common difference reduces by one of the term in question. Like in the fourth term, reduces by one of the term in question. We now have it as 3D. All right, so if I ask, for example, that you should find the 17th term, what formula do we have to use? If you continue in this order, that will now be A plus 16D. So we can use that as the formula for finding the 17th term of an AP. Let's use that same example I provided not long ago. If we have 5, 8, 11, 14, the next one will be 17, the next one will be 20, and this is the sixth term. This is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Of course, we know that the first term here is 5. Then the common difference is this minus this or this minus this, which is 3. So to find the sixth term, I can use the order that I have already, gotten here by saying the sixth term will be A plus 5D. That is using this order. So I don't have to go about cramming this formula to find the nth term of AP. So what do we do? A is 5. 5. That is this 5. Then common difference is 3. When we do that, 5 plus 5 multiplied 3 will give us 15. Of course, the answer will be 20. That will give us the sixth term of this particular sequence. We can use this same format to get 100th term, 1 millionth term, any kind of term within an AP. So if you don't make use of this formula, you can as well make use of this particular order that we have derived here. Now let's take some other important questions regarding the nth term of AP. Here we have the first example. The question reads, given the AP 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. The question now demands that we find the 99th term of that particular sequence. Then number 2 says we should find the nth term. Nth term is just to find another formula that can be used, a very unique formula that can be used to determine that particular term in question. Now look at how we are going to be approaching this particular instance. Solution. So you can see the AP. Of course, the first term of this AP is 9, as we know already. Then the common difference, can you figure out what the common difference is? If you recall what we just did previously, that will be 12 minus 9, or you say 15 minus 12, or you say 18 minus 15. That would give the same number. And that would suggest that that particular sequence is an AP, that is arithmetic progression. Of course, in this particular instance, the common difference is 3, because 12 minus 9 will give us 3. The first of the questions says that we should find the 99th term. To find the 99th term. We have to find the 99th term of the sequence, as we can see. So all we need to do is to follow that order I just gave not long ago. If we are to find the 99th term, the formula we read as A plus, reducing by one of these, that will be 98D. That is how it will read. All right, so to substitute the various things that we have there, that will be the first term is 9 plus 98 multiplied by D, which is 3. Multiplied by D, which is 3. So let's continue here. That will give us 9 plus, so let's multiply 98 multiplied by 3. That will be 24. We write 4 carry 2. That will give us 27 plus this 29. So we have it as 294. So what is finally the 99th term of this particular sequence? The 99th term will be 9 plus the number we just got. That will be 3 and 0, and that will be 3 here. So the answer to the question will be 303. That will be the 99th term of this particular sequence in question. I hope this is clear enough. Good. All right, so 99th term of the AP 9, 12, 15, 18 is 303. I hope that is clear enough. All right, so let's look at the second question. So you don't have to start listing, adding tray until you get to the 99th term. Instead, you make use of this short formula in finding the 99th term of this particular sequence. Now let's take number 2 example. Number 2 example, we're asked to find the nth term. The nth term of this. You already have the first term, you have the common difference. So we're going to make use of the general formula for the nth term, which is A plus bracket n minus 1, then multiplied by D. That is the general formula we'll be using to find the nth term of this particular sequence. All right, so the only thing we have to do here is to substitute the value of A and also the value of the common difference. And that will go in this order. A is 9 plus n minus 1 multiplied by D, which is what? 3. Multiplied by 3. All right, so to go further, we open the bracket. We have it as T sub n is equal to 9. Then this multiplied by this will give us plus 3n plus 3n. That's to multiply this. Then multiply will give us minus 3. That's 3 times minus 1 will give us minus 3. So the final answer to this particular example will be T sub n is equal to, collecting light, and we have it as 3n. Then 9 minus 3 will give us plus 6. So this becomes the nth term. This becomes the nth term of this particular sequence. That is how to get these resolve this particular question. I hope this is clear enough. So the next formula we can use to determine any of the subsequent terms of the AP 9, 12, 15, 18 is T sub n plus 6. Take, for example, have the first term, second term, third term. If I want to determine the third term using this formula now, as we have T sub n We have it as 3, and we are looking for the third term. This first term, second term, third term. The third term, remember n represent the number of term. That's a 3 now. Okay, plus 6. That will give us 3 times 3 will give us 9 plus 6, and that will give us 15. That same 15 that we have here. So the nth term can also help us to get the subsequent terms of that particular AP given. I hope this is clear enough. Now let's move to the second example. Let's move to the second example. Here we have the second example. The question reads, the 12th term of an AP is minus 41. If the first term is 3, find the 20th term. Look at how we are going to be approaching this one. The first thing we do is to bring out some of the things that are given. The 12th term, we write it as t sub 12. The 12th term is given to us as minus 41. That is the first equation given to us, the very first equation. They then continued by saying, if the first term is 3, A, remember that the first term is represented with letter A. If A is 3, then I say we should find the 20th term. Let's see how that will pan out. All right, so what we have to do here is to substitute. Let's write the formula of 12th term. Can you still recall how to write the formula of the 12th term in that particular order given? Then to write the 12th term, that will be A plus 11D. That is the formula for the 12th term. Hope that is clear enough. That's how to write the 12th term. You can still recall how we're able to give that order of arrangement. And they say the 12th term is equal to minus 41. Sorry, that's minus 41. All right, so all we need to do is to substitute the value of our A inside of this formula. Substitute our A inside of this formula so that we'll be able to get our D. And by so doing, A here is 3 plus 11D equal to minus 41. So the next step we'll now take is to collect like terms. 3 we move over to the other side. We have it as 11D is equal to minus 41, then minus 3. We now have it as 11D is equal to minus 41 minus 3 will give us minus 44. What do we do next? We divide both sides by the coefficient of D. That will give us minus 44 divided by 11. Our common difference will be minus 4. As you can see, we now know our first term and we know the common difference. Therefore, we can find the 20th term. And to find the 20th term, we simply say t sub 20 is equal to A plus 19D. That's our usual formula that makes things easy for us. Then in place of A, we have A as 3 plus 19 multiplied by D. We now have it as minus 4. Minus 4. All right, so here we have 3. Okay, 3 minus, because minus times plus will give us minus. So 19 multiplied by 4, 4 multiplied by 9 will give us 36. We have 6 carry 3, then that will give us 4. 4 plus 3 will give us 7. So we're going to have a minus 76. So the final answer to this, 3 minus 76 will give us minus 73. Minus 73. That will be the 20th term of that particular sequence in question. Because the question reads, the 12th term of an AP is minus 41. If the first term is 12, find the 20th term. And we started by bringing out the equation t sub 12, which is 12th term, equal to minus 41. That is the first equation there. And they gave us the first term as 3. As you can see, we now transform this 12th term the way we write the formula for 12th term, which is a plus 11d, reducing by one of the term in question, equal to minus 41, as we have. We substitute the value of this, which is 3, okay, for a plus this. Then we end up having common difference as minus 4. Then they ask us to find the 20th term, and the formula for 20th term will be a plus 19d. And when you do that, you have minus 73 as the answer to that particular one. Now let's take the second to the last question. All right, so number 3 question says, in an AP, the 10th term is 68, while the 4th term is 26. Find the first term and the common difference. Look at how we are going to be approaching this particular one. Solutions. All right. To get this, we have to follow the statements the way it's being stated. The 10th term of an AP is 68. We put it like this. T sub 10 is equal to 68. While the 4th term is 26. T sub 4 is equal to 26. We are going to be converting this into equations. For the 10th term, how do we write 10th term? That will be A plus 9D is equal to 68. We call it equation 1. So let's convert this one into equation. That will be A plus 3D equal to 26. We call it equation 2. So what we are going to be dealing with here will be the simultaneous equation. How do we do that? Using elimination method. We can put it this way. Equation 1 minus equation 2. That will now be A minus A, 0. That is gone. 9D minus 3D. That will give us 6D equal to, then 68 minus 26. That will give us 42. Then we divide both sides by the coefficients of D. The coefficients of D, that will be 42 divided by 6. So the value of our D will be 7. So the common difference is 7. We've gotten the common difference. So it's now left for us to find the first term. Let's get the first term. To get the first term, we now substitute the value of the D that we've got here. We say substitute D equal to 7 in any of the equation. We can substitute the value in equation 1. We can substitute the value in equation 2. Whichever way we do it, we get the same answer. So let's substitute in equation 1. And equation 1 says A plus, wherever we find D, we put 7 plus 9. In place of D, what do I put? That will be 7 equal to 68. A plus 9 times 7. 9 multiplied 7 will give us 63 equal to 68. We collect like terms. That becomes A is equal to 68 minus 63. A will be equal to 68 minus 63 will give us 5. So we can see that the value of A, which is the first term, is 5. And the value of common difference is 7. And those are the answers to the question. Because the question demands that we find the first term and the common difference. That is the simplest way of doing that. Now let's take the last question. and conclude for today. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button to support the channel as we continue to make mathematics easy and simple for you. Here we have the last question of this particular episode. The question reads, if 8, x, y, z, 32 is an AP. Those are the sequence of an AP, assuming it's an AP. Find the value of x, y, and z. Look at how we are to approach this particular question. Solution. Let's bring out the sequence 8, x, y, z, 32. So we are going to be using the known to find the unknown. We have to identify the ones that we know here and use the idea of the one we know to determine the one we do not know. Recall that the first number in any sequence is known as the first term. This is the second term. This is the third term. This is the fourth term. This is the fifth term. So the ones we know here are the first term and the fifth term. The first term, which is A, is equal to 8. Then the fifth term, remember how we write the fifth term? The fifth term is 32. These are the two that we know. We can make this to appear as an equation. How do we write the fifth term of an AP? That would be A plus 4D equal to 32. So what we'll now do is that we have to substitute calling this equation 1. That shouldn't scare you. Whenever we say equation 1, that is just to tell you, remember this, I am coming. All right, so substitute A, which is equal to 8, in that equation 1. That means the value of A, we substitute the value of A in this particular equation. That means wherever we see A, we put 8 in this equation. In place of here, we put 8 plus 4D equal to 32. So to continue from here, collecting like terms, we have 4D is equal to 32 minus 8. Then 4D is equal to 32 minus 8. Let's see what it's going to give us. That will be 2 here. That will be 4. That's going to give us 24. All right, so divide both sides by the coefficients of D. The common difference will now become 24 divided by 4. The common difference will be 6. Now that we have the common difference as 6, to get these terms will now be easier for us. So to get x is the second term. With the first term, the common difference plus the first term, that will be the first term plus common difference, 6, will give us the value of x, which is what? 14. So to get the third term, which is the 14 of the second term plus the common difference, that will give us 20. Then that continues in that order. Z, which is the fourth term, that will now be the third term 20 plus the common difference, that will give us 26. So therefore, the values of x, y, and z are 14, 20, and 26. So those are the values of x, y, z, as you can see on the board. Thank you for listening and have a great day ahead. Thank you.